Hey guys, this is G. I wanted to give y'all a heads up because our first episode sound quality really isn't up to par for our standards here at the podcast, but that's due to us trying to record on vacation. We appreciate the opportunity to entertain you folks, and we really want to just give y'all a rough draft of all the fun stuff to come. Thank you for bearing with us, and we hope to bring you bigger and better things here in the near future. Well, hello, my excited acolytes. You are joining us on the journey through the mundane, majestic, and macabre. Welcome to the rabbit hole. I'm the ringleader of foolishness. You can just call me G. With me, as always, is my companion in the chaos, BB.
What's up, guys?
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you, G?
Hey, man, I'm excited. First episode, we're just gonna really sink our teeth in.
Yeah, this is definitely exciting. Something we've been talking about
For a long time, very
Pretty
long.
cool.
Well, not man. I love the entertainment part of the aspect, and I'm really excited. And what we're really going to jump into today is a topic that could span over everywhere. Honestly, it covers media, it covers like books, it covers. I mean, everything.
and it's a well-known topic. I mean, majority of people are going to know what this subject is, and they're going to respond to it. So, what do we have today, G?
We've got vampires, Bebop.
Okay.
We've got vampires.
Cool. So we're talking about vampires.
Dude, anything from Dracula to Blackula, anything but Twilight. Anything but Twilight.
But they are vampires, and they're very popular.
Okay,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying.
okay. But what I am saying is, the rule is, if it glitters, it's a stripper. I did not make the rule. Myrtle Beach made this rule.
They do be glittering.
So they do be glittering.
They do be glittering when they get out there.
I'm telling you, you ever seen one of them strippers jump out after night shift? Them bitch be sparkling like what's it, Edward and them. But nah, man.
We'll never live that down, even being Batman.
Do not get me started on that movie. I tried twice.
You still didn't make it through?
No, absolutely not. And I won't. I won't try again.
You're doing better than me. I
I
haven't even seen it.
will not.
Not that I don't want to see it, I just haven't seen it. The new Batman movie is what we're talking about.
Yeah, but well, which I will say before we go from Batman from Batman, Michael Keaton is Batman. Podcast that Rabbit Hole says that is confirmed. Michael Keaton will always be Batman. But we're going to talk about other Batmen, like Dracula,
The men of the Bat kind.
the real '80s guys like Lost Boys.
They hiss at you at night.
Oh, that
Is that too much? Was that too far?
no. My only issue is why? Why is that a thing?
The hissing?
Yes,
I don't know. Tell me. Where did it start from? Where did vampires originate?
Okay. From what I know in my vast studies of the topic, a lot of it's Eastern, like old Eastern European, man.
Okay.
And they weren't even like what you see now, like the real suave, like all that other good mess. They were feral, like rat even looking creatures.
Did they still have a conscience though? Because I mean, when you're talking animal to human, you know the way I visualize that conscience, that feral, maybe rabid, you would say, kind of like they lack a conscience. They lack a thought.
Lack of morality. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a feed, it's a hungry thing.
Gotcha. Strictly instinct.
Yes. And all the suave vampire mess that started in the movies.
Well, they probably did that if it was a man-made change to the original stories. They probably did that for the general public, like in movies sense, where it was easy for people, viewers, to digest.
So kind of like how they put ET in the movies and stuff like that to make us okay with Area 51.
I would say so. They trickled it in,
Okay.
you know, because anything that is man-made is going to be their version. So I'm not saying, you know, we're not going to mess up or make changes when we're doing our own version of the story. But I get what you're saying. So vampires, where did they originate? And you're saying old Eastern European.
Well, a lot of what we get from now is actually from the movie Nosferatu.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of that.
It's black and white German film. It really just sets the tone for vampire lore and stuff like that. I mean, it really
Kind of
does.
set the baseline of vampire in.
The vampire dying from the sun trope comes from Nosferatu.
Okay.
And believe it or not, this movie actually has a little conspiracy theory behind it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Max Schreck. I know when you think here Shrek, you hear, don't get
Somebody wants to get out of me swamp.
pervy midgets and whatnot. So, no. His name was Friedrich Gustav Maximilian Schreck.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's fucking mouthful, son. Especially with the banjos in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Shrek.
Yeah. He goes by the stage moniker Max Schreck.
All right.
He was a German actor from 1920 to 1936. And his most famous film is Nosferatu.
Okay.
He plays Nosferatu.
So he plays the lead role. He plays the vampire.
He does.
Okay.
And the theory behind it is Max Schreck himself was actually a vampire.
Now, what sparks those kind of theories for people to have, to take that stand on him?
Okay. Well, a lot of it goes with, people act weird, especially and we can all attribute it to eccentric actors, like method actors and stuff like that. But a lot of the reports, a lot of the stuff is, motherfucker's weird, man.
Right.
It was just very off-putting. He really felt like the character. And if you watch the movie, it's a silent movie. It's black and white, but it's his movements. We didn't have CGI. We didn't have his movements. It's odd, man. And the biggest force behind him being a vampire happens to be the producer.
Okay, so what
of the film?
The producer.
Yeah.
And the lead actor.
The producer's name was Alvin Guerrero.
Okay.
It's Grau. I'm going to tell you folks, there's going to be a lot of times me and B here don't know how to pronounce the word.
Yeah.
We're going to mess things up.
We're just a bunch of country boys.
Truth be told,
that twang lives no matter how much we try to hide it. There's a twang in our voice. And it comes out occasionally.
If I got to spell it to y'all, I'll spell it to you. Look it up. Figure out how to say it yourself. You ain't got to sound like me. You can listen and enjoy it. But don't go around using the words, because you're going to sound kind of funny unless you know what you're speaking of.
Yeah, you can use the words, I guess, just know.
Oh yeah,
we can't back them as far as pronunciation.
They're not in the dictionary, the thesaurus, none of that. But Alvin, we'll call him Alvin.
Call him Alvin, all right.
He was the producer and production designer on the set. He basically he put the bumps in the night. Basically, if there was bumps going on in the night, he put them there. He was involved in the character design, quote, of Nosferatu. He was also a very renowned occultist of the time in Germany.
Well,
he belonged to the Brotherhood of Saturn, which is a German magical order, meaning these folks studied the esoteric, sign casting, spells, sawing a lady in half, all the classics.
Wow. So the producer of this film was into that kind of stuff.
Yes, he was a very renowned, held seances, very renowned occultist.
Wow.
Even in some of the sets, the contract that one of the characters reads have occultist symbols on the contract in the movie.
Wow, so they weren't really, okay, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is they weren't really hiding it.
No, at that point they didn't have.
Which, now granted, this was a different time period. I think you said it was 1930s was when this film was filmed. Okay.
Now, you want to hear an even creepier fact about the subject?
Yeah.
The Brotherhood of Saturn is, this order he belonged to was a Thelmic order. Thelmic is the same spiritual laws and beliefs by one Aleister Crowley that believes in it. Have you ever heard of Aleister Crowley?
I have not. Could you refresh me?
He is mentioned in a lot of your rock music. He described himself and others described him as the Beast 666. Very into Satanism, the Thelmic order, like basically the Thelmic faith is a Satanist
Based. Okay.
Like that is where like the Church of Satan and everything.
Okay. So this Brotherhood of Saturn is based on satanic beliefs.
Yes.
And they were into like, I would say, because what you mentioned a while ago, into like witchcraft or spells or just any kind of, I would go say voodoo.
But more of like contracting, trying to get power through.
Like sell souls?
Yeah. The idea behind it is Albin made a contract with Max Schreck Nosferatu for him to be in this film. He was an actual vampire. There's actually a movie with William Dafoe that actually plays off this belief.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not sure right exactly. I maybe put it in the show notes, folks. If I don't, remind me and I'll tell y'all at a later date, or find it yourself. We're all about helping each other out. Let me know shit.
Definitely.
But it's a William Dafoe movie where he plays Max Schreck filming the movie Nosferatu.
Really?
And he's an actual vampire.
Wow. Now, did you know that, and I just saw the preview for this like 2 days ago, there's a Nicolas Cage vampire movie coming out.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw a little trailer the other day, and it looked pretty good. It was pretty cool.
I feel like Nicolas Cage would make a damn good vampire. Like, there's just those actors and famous people that I really feel either are vampires or could play very good vampires. Like, okay, if you any famous or powerful person, who would you pick to be a vampire? Who would you be like, yeah, that's a vampire?
It's a good take. Like, if I found out this famous person was a vampire tomorrow, who would I expect it to be?
Yeah, you wouldn't. You'd be like, yeah, that's right. That makes sense.
I would say somebody that's like, first off, qualifications. They got to be super rich. Like that's my first check.
Yeah.
You got to be like,
if you're a vampire, you got money.
And you have that kind of a lifetime. If you're not rich, you're doing something wrong. So I would say, like off the top of my head, like Jeff Bezos, because to add to my point, he's kind of bald.
Okay.
And that's just weird.
Nosferatu bald, yeah.
He's got money. Why you got here? You know? Something's going on with that, right?
Your driving point
He's got money.
is he's got money, he's bald.
Yeah.
And if he had all this money, why does he have hair?
He ain't that old.
No. You're right. Okay, so
See what I'm saying? A suspect.
that's science. That's science.
Maybe Joe Rogan.
No, that'd be a terrifying vampire. I wouldn't want Joe Rogan to be a vampire.
I'm not saying he wouldn't be terrifying. I was just following the
That
ball
would be an
tangent.
very intense fucking vampire. Look, Joe, don't tell people not to listen to us
He's the only
already.
vampire that doesn't prefer to bite. He prefers to rear naked choke.
He pops your head like a dead leg, man.
Gotcha.
Look, nothing against Joe. We like the MMA and all that.
Oh my gosh, yes. Been listening to his podcast.
But whatever. So we're getting famous. We're trying to get famous. He's already famous.
He most famous.
But oh man, you know who I would think of?
What?
Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
But Keanu Reeves would be a dope ass. Like he wouldn't bite nobody. He would just go get blood bags and stuff like that.
I could see that.
Yeah, because he looked the same for a while. He just decided to grow his facial hair out. Now that's why everybody think he look older.
So, going off of bouncing ideas off each other with the vampires, you believe they don't age with your beliefs because they lived so long.
Yeah.
So what if they age, but it's just at a very slow rate? Like, you see how Tom Cruise has aged. I'm not saying he hasn't aged and it's not obvious, but he's aged well.
Yeah.
For a middle-aged white man.
Middle-aged white man.
Usually that shit hits and you look rough, but
Ain't like
obviously
you,
he's
son.
got money. I'm just saying, certain people do that. I was just thinking off the top of my head, Tom Cruise, maybe Anne Hathaway, people that just really look young, look good
Yeah,
to be their age.
that would make sense. Now, what figure would you want you wouldn't want to find out was a vampire? Like that would just put a whole nother level of fear into your heart.
That would make me scared knowing they're a vampire. Putin.
Putin?
Yeah, absolutely. Russian. You know what?
That's
Scarier
Putin.
than a vampire?
I thought you said Putin.
No, not Putin. Putin. I didn't pass gas, okay?
You know what scary Putin vampire?
No, I'm talking about the Russian vampire, the Putin. That would be pretty damn terrifying.
Yeah, that would be. That would be kind of crazy. You know who I would be scared of? Mike Tyson with a fucking vampire.
I agree.
That's an intense fellow.
That would be very scary. And he already has the taste for human flesh.
Okay.
Not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not right neither.
Man got a taste.
And I'll agree with that. But that would be any intense person, any very intense person. I feel like there should be an aptitude test before you become a vampire.
Vampire interviews.
Yeah.
So you want to be a vampire?
What do you see when you look at these plots?
Pick MOS.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you though. As long as I've been watching scary movies and stuff like that, I've seen so many. The vampire has always changed. Always. It's never the same thing. And I could respect that. I really could. As a mythos, because I feel like the ambiguity really adds to what will work and won't work. You know what I mean? That adds to the fucking scary factor.
The what is.
Yeah.
The stuff that you don't know. Because as a human with a brain that thinks, just like,
A human with a brain.
believe me, there's some out there that don't think. All I'm saying, all I'm trying to say is, there's going to be different renditions, different ideas, different things, and even person to person, we're different in our own ways. Everybody has their own attributes and their own things. So why wouldn't that apply to vampires?
True. Very true. As a human with a brain that thinks sometimes.
That's how I've started addressing myself. I'm a human with a brain that thinks this.
How are you? I'm a human with a brain that thinks. Oh, speaking of people who don't think, just off of what you were saying right now, different attributes different. What about a redneck vampire?
A redneck vampire? That would be dangerous. Rednecks are very, I would say, smart individuals. They're smart and dumb. They know their way around real life shit, survival kind of stuff. But there's certain weak points, as with anything. That
No, I'm not talking about hunting, fishing redneck.
What do you mean by redneck then?
I'm talking
Blue collar?
I'm talking about hillbilly, tooth, teeth, and both. One of them's a fang and one of them ain't.
Oh, like Appalachian.
Yeah.
One from the sticks. Seen Bigfoot a time or two.
I'll bite you.
Damn banjo's playing in the
I'm
background.
telling you, just
Okay.
like Deliverance, but with vampires.
Yeah, that would be terrifying. It's like The Hills Have Eyes, but with fangs. The Hills Have Fangs. The Hills Have Fangs.
The Hills Have Fangs. That's trademark. None of y'all can use that. But that's going to be our movie coming out next summer.
Yeah, we're working on it. Our budget
It's
is limited.
Patreon coming soon.
You like the Patreon? Thank you, my loyal followers.
Episode 1 and plug in the Patreon for a movie.
We'll deliver.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not expecting shit.
It might be 2 years from now, but hey,
But if
I'll
y'all,
reflect on this episode and we'll deliver.
son,
We'll make a production.
if we going down the road somewhere and y'all really want a movie made from two of us, I'll give you a movie. It'll be Blair Witch style, but scary, hilarious. That's the new genre that we'll be working on. So, back to let's rein it in from our blossoming
Tangent. A beautiful tangent, but a tangent nonetheless. So let's get back on the subject. I agree.
We are the rabbit hole, so we tend to travel them.
That's how it goes.
So, what would it take, or what would be your end goal? What would the end goal have to be for you to agree to be a vampire? Like, what would that have to, with the limitations, with everything else?
Okay. The one thing that would make me want to be a vampire is the extended lifetime, because I feel like, in a human life, like what I'm living right now, there could be more time to learn. There's so much things that one can do, and then once you hit a certain age, you're unable to do what you once were able to do as far as travel and movement and physical abilities if you were to get sick. So I would say the lifetime, and I think that would be what I would look forward to the most.
That forever young kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like that would get old, man.
It definitely, like anything, I could see the downside to it too, like getting lonely or getting bored, getting tired of stuff. But
There's so many hobbies you can master, man.
Right. But suicide is a thing.
That's like what I'm hearing it. You would live it out until you were completely done with it and just walk out in the sun or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's always an option.
Call up Blade or something, like.
Call up Mike Tyson. End it.
So from what you're saying,
Brandon, I can't do that.
listen, Brandon. I like you, the guy. Oh my. So it's canon, y'all. Mike Tyson can kill vampires. It's Blade, Mike Tyson, Chuck Norris, and that little guy that's be punching everybody on those videos. They can all kill vampires.
Somebody has Billa?
If he can punch Shaq and get away with it, the little dude hunts vampires.
He's definitely fearless.
All the time.
But I would be too if I could run up under a bed.
You know how bad
Hit me and run up under the bed. God damn it, get back here. Runs up under the bed.
Greg keeps grabbing the broom trying to press his hands to one side or the other.
Come on, get back here.
Oh my.
Anyways, ringing things back in. Coming off of a tangent.
Oh my lord. So, we've covered the movies. We've that bullet like it's killing me right now. Harry. Oh man.
All I'm saying is I've never seen him and a cross in the same room.
And he punched Shaq. Oh my lord. Shaq's shoe is bigger than that dude.
And if he's not a vampire, then I'll say somebody summoned him. By accident.
It's a failure. Shoe.
Not you, Beetlejuice. Get back in the fucking ball. Oh, we're gonna be talking about 4 plus 5 equals 29. No Beetlejuice.
Good God. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a great start to a podcast. Because one of us is gonna get hit by that little son of a bitch before it's all said and done.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's me.
You think it'd be you?
Yeah.
You gonna let him punch him like everybody else do, or you gonna take him down?
I don't know what I would do. I know I'd shit my pants.
Immediately? Is it because of the fear he may be a vampire?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
something's off about that dude, you know?
You know what? If that is the merit of who is a vampire, that somebody's off about that, something's off about them. I know a lot of vampires. That lazy-eyed son of a bitch checked me out the Piggly Wiggly last week. Definitely a vampire.
Okay. So, I'm trying to ring us back in here.
All right. What you got, Bo?
On the subject of vampires, back to your movie, Nosferatu.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you believe that Shrek,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the producer, Al.
We'll call him out, yeah.
First off, Shrek was a vampire, and you have reasons to believe. And the producer was definitely not suspect, definitely a Satan worshipping, or part of a Satan worshipping cult called the Brothers of Saturn. Brotherhood of Saturn. I'm just making sure I got everything here.
Okay. So, from what the theory says, and look, we don't speak anything on here like it's gospel fact. We're just two buddies that basically love to learn. We love a little bit of weird mess.
Yeah, I love a good conspiracy. So,
But that being said, for the people who like to wear the garlic necklace with their tinfoil hat,
okay.
yes, it is a strong possibility that he is. It's a strong possibility that somehow, through occult rituals, he was able to summon and even strike up a contract with a vampire. With this vast world out there, who am I to say that's not possible? You know what I mean?
I'm following you.
We have all this lore, and there's vampire notices from different cultures throughout the world have talked about different blood-sucking creatures.
Chupacabra is the first one that comes to my mind that's not a vampire, so to speak, but it's literally like goat bloodsucker.
I mean, we in the cryptid and creepy world, we are snacks to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
A lot of things. And why couldn't vampire be on that list? It could be just as bad as werewolves and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, I do have to ask, what is your favorite vampire?
Okay. My favorite vampire movie would have to be Underworld Evolution because of the action, and I did think the vampires were really cool. The lichens, the werewolves, it had a cool story. The vampire, that's probably my favorite vampire movie.
I can dig that. I don't know why. I love old movies. You know me. I'm a very big cheesy movie person.
And you're a great movie buff. You've watched so many more movies than I have, but you're really passionate about that kind of film craft, especially horror genre.
Oh, dude, it's vast. It's so vast. I would definitely have to say Lost Boys. Lost Boys is
That's cool.
Very good
Yeah,
movie.
I like Lost
Very
Boys.
good movie. Salem's Lot. I'm a big Stephen King man.
I like the original Fright Night.
The original Fright Night's a perfect 80s movie.
It's so
It's
cool.
a perfect 80s movie.
Yeah. And there was more than just one cryptid in that movie, but very cool vampire movie. I really liked it.
You know what? I love the detailed work in the old 80s movies, like the transformation, like you were talking about the werewolf from the little creepy dude. I can't remember his name right offhand.
Talking about the guy, you talking about the guy in Fright Night?
Yeah.
The little weird guy
Yeah.
who kind of like transformed underneath the staircase.
Yeah.
I will never forget that.
Oh,
That's just one of those scenes, you know?
and the attention to the detail, and I loved everything about it, man. But Salem's Lot was a good creepy one. Anything Stephen King has done, I can honestly say is a good. And he throws vampire and vampire-like creatures in a lot of movies he does.
Really?
Oh man, think about it. Most of the stuff he writes as far as creatures feed on fear, blood, meat. It's a trope across everything, man. Truthfully,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I just haven't seen that many Stephen King films, so I'm not as well aware of that as you are. But yeah, from what I do know, I could see that.
Hell, if we take it across that everything that eats is similar, Cujo's a damn vampire too.
Damn it, Cujo. That's what it was. It wasn't rabies.
Hmm. I'm thinking about it. He's possessed by the devils. But I'm telling you, man, the movies are good, man. Even the cheesy ones, even the good 80s movies to me will always be the best. 80s, early 90s movies, the stop motion, the practical effects, you don't see that kind of care anymore. And they really show it in those vampire movies. Like, yes, I see the wire. Yes, I know he is not flying. I see the wire.
But it's almost like you're saying, it's like a beauty of it.
Yes, it really is. You don't see those people putting in that much effort anymore.
Right. It's all computerized.
But back from the movie standpoint, what would you think? What cryptid do you think could beat a vampire?
Well, I'll say this off the bat because this is controversial. The vampire versus werewolf topic, I'm team werewolf.
Oh, werewolf's gonna take that ass.
I think, for one, I think a werewolf would beat a vampire. Bigfoot, I think would beat a lot of things. I think a vampire could beat a chupacabra. Maybe even a shapeshifter. Maybe.
How big do you think a chupacabra is, though? It's a goat eater. It's a goat sucker.
I would say the size of a cougar.
Kruger?
A cougar or a jaguar, like that size. Like not the biggest cat, but like that size.
Okay.
Walking on all fours. That's what I picture a chupacabra.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. That's what I would picture it. But yeah. I think definitely a werewolf would kick a vampire's ass.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Werewolf. Maybe not a Frankenstein.
Maybe not.
Maybe
I think of vampires being smart creatures, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think they could outwit some of their opponents.
Which makes sense. Let me ask, we've been having our little conversation. You admitted you didn't know much coming into it. You feel like you learned anything?
Absolutely.
You feel like you learned something?
I think I should go watch Nosferatu.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of people won't get behind it because it's a silent film. It's black and white. The ambiance is there. The occult imagery is there. I'll really put the whole spoon into that gumbo, son. I'm talking. He is accredited for the entire atmosphere of Nosferatu, and I believe it has a lot to do with his occult background.
And to any listener that has heard our conversation that took place about vampires, that's hearing about this movie Nosferatu, if you have the time to maybe watch it yourself, what I would like for you to do is let us know what you think. Have you already seen it? Do you know exactly what we're talking about? Or can you debunk what we're saying and prove us wrong? Because I'm not against that either. Let us know what you think. Because we don't claim to be 100% right. We're just here to spill ideas, share viewpoints, and just generally have a good conversation. And hopefully one of us will learn something.
Oh, most definitely, man. And that goes out to, and I want to spread this cast out. This is our first episode. You want to hear a topic. You want us to tell your stories. We're nothing but accommodating. I will tell you that. I love hearing stories, especially anything dealing with the creepy, the occult. I love horror movies, horror stories. I messed that whole thing up, but I ran with you
I got you.
You like I did?
I got you.
But most definitely, I want to hear your stories. We'll even take slots out to where we can. We'll tell stories. We'll tell your stories. If you want your name mentioned, let us know. Any kind of... I want to interview a Bigfoot hunter. I'm putting that out in the universe.
Yeah.
The whole podcast will interview any Bigfoot hunter. Absolutely across the board. I will. If you are a Bigfoot hunter, we will put you on a Zoom call, a Skype call. You will be interviewed. Your story will be out there in the universe. If that's all, that's what we're doing. all the weird, all the strange, all the awesome stories out there, we're trying to get those out, folks.
Yeah. And this first episode was just a taste of me and B and G having conversations. And we plan to definitely put out more episodes, but it's not just cryptid based. It's not just conspiracy theory based. Like, we're going to have conversations about, it's kind of randomized, I would say. However we're feeling when we hit that record button, we're just going to have a conversation and let it go from there. So just stay tuned, and there's no telling what will be next. And if you have suggestions, we're all ears.
Most definitely. And anyone who wants to reach out with a story, maybe you're into the occult, maybe you know more about a certain topic that we speak on, that hell, we'll bring you on if you feel like we didn't represent a topic that you're passionate about. And that is at trh.comedy95@gmail.com. That's trh.comedy95@gmail.com. And that's how to reach us at the rabbit hole. Maybe I think we're going to send them off with a little brain teaser, a little something to think on, something to chew on. You know what I mean?
Okay. Something to leave them with. I like it.
And I want to hear your opinion on it. I'll feed my opinion a little bit.
Okay.
And if y'all want to feed y'all's opinion in, we'll love that too. When you were born, man, the moment you were born, the book appeared, and you opened it up, and it had stories of your past, if reincarnation is real.
Okay.
And it had stories on your past life. Would you open it up and read it? Everything you ever was in this book.
And then you got to live the rest of this life because you just started a new life?
You just started this life.
I wouldn't. And the reason why I wouldn't is because that past would not really matter, because I'm about to start a new life. And these past lives, I would really just run the risk of seeing if I was a good or bad person. And I think I'd rather not know and just live this new life. Not knowing, I mean, I probably could know some very cool details to bring into this life and maybe have an advantage. I could see that, but I'm going to take the side of no. I'm not going to learn about my past lives.
You're not going to learn about them?
Yeah.
I can understand that, man. Honestly, so what you're saying is it would bother you either way in finding out whether you're a good or bad person in past lives.
I wouldn't take the chance. Like, I could read and see that all this great stuff happened, and probably, I could probably get really useful information to bring into this new life. But I would also run the risk of, if I did anything bad, learning it and then having to live with it. And you could turn that into a good thing. I completely agree. But I would probably take that side and go, I'll pass. I'm not going to open that book.
I feel like curiosity would get the best of them.
Okay.
I've always been I have to put my hand on the stove type, unfortunately. You know, if you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I mean, I would have to open that book up. And like I said, folks, if you want to let us know, that is trh.comedy95@gmail.com. That's how you get in touch with me and Bebop. And we can't wait to talk to y'all again.
See, guys, I told you that shit was kind of rough. But if you made it this far, that means we entertained you a little bit. And we definitely look forward to doing it again on the next episode of The Rabbit Hole.